What is going on, all of you banana loving gamers out there in the world? I'm Mega Am, so thank you for watching this video. Whether you are a new or returning viewer, I appreciate you stopping by. And today, we are, as of this upload, 10 days out from Donkey Kong Bananza, the newest Donkey Kong game, big launch game for the Switch 2, the newest 3D Donkey Kong game, arguably mainline game since DK64, all the way back in, what was that, 1999, 2000? Definitely let me know in the comments below. It's been a very long time. About 25 years, and we are getting a new game here, and I wanted to go over 5 reasons why you might potentially be interested if you are a Switch 2 owner, or even if you're not yet. Maybe this could be the killer game for you in terms of a game that is a must-play on the system. But with that, I will say I'm going to be playing the overview trailer, the most recent one uploaded a few days ago as of this upload, so if you are trying to avoid any sort of spoilers for the game, this has the most recent content in the trailers, so I would not watch this video if at all possible. Just know that I'm very excited for it. We're going to go into some of the details here, but just wanted to give that preliminary message before you jump into any of the footage here. But with that, let's jump into it. So let's talk about the number one reason. Of course, with many of these games that I like to talk about are the presentation for this game. This game looks so good. It looks so colorful. The idea of different subterranean levels and like having different environments. I don't fully understand how it works with having a skybox underground, but you know what? Who am I to say this? Nintendo does not care. This is a creative decision, and there's a lot of varied environments just from what we've seen so far. But the look of the game itself, obviously, you know, looks really good, very Nintendo-like. I mean, a lot of Nintendo games have this kind of look to it, but it's very charming. And part of the presentation is with DK himself. He just has a lot of emotion this time around, and a lot of expression on his face, along with Pauline, who we'll get into in a second here. It looks great. In motion, it looks so good, so colorful, so vibrant, different environmental effects going on and stuff. Looks really, really good. But also the music itself. I mean, from the music we heard in some of the overview trailers, you know, we've got, of course, Jungle Hijinks coming back, David Wise's influence continuing on to this day, since the country days, as well as we know that there's a version of the DK rap in this game. There's going to be collectible music, so you're going to be able to hear lots of new Donkey Kong music, as well as, I'm sure, remixes of old ones. I think there was a remix of Bramble Blast that was heard during some gameplay footage previously, so lots of good DK music, old and new, involved in that presentation, but just looks great, sounds great, and from what I can tell, it'll feel great, but just looks amazing. And so obviously one reason to pick up this game, but number two, the big one probably for a lot of people, will be the gameplay itself, right? Because this is a video game. What kind of game is this? And it's interesting because I've read a few different, or I've watched a few different videos talking about, and read a few articles talking about this game, how this is almost the strongest Donkey Kong's ever felt, and that could not be more apparent with the gameplay. You're going around busting up stuff, the terrain, you know, collecting these golden bananas, the banandium gems, whatever they call them in this game. But just the variety of gameplay here that looks to be a big 3D open, I'll say open zone platformer, like a Mario Odyssey, like a Sonic Frontiers, but you have DK's moveset. Now, I have played maybe like 5-10 minutes of the demo hands-on, the very beginning of the game, and I will say the controls took me a little bit to get used to, just because there are so many maneuvers you can do, but it starts to click, and it just goes to show how different DK feels compared to something like Mario, whereas in previous games, you could argue that Donkey Kong felt similar in a way to Mario in terms of core gameplay, whereas here, yes, this is a 3D collectathon platformer, but Donkey Kong has never felt more different than other characters, which is great. It's good that he has his own sense of identity, his own style of gameplay. And, you know, we also have these different transformation abilities that we're going to be unlocking using Pauline's abilities, or singing abilities as well. That's really going to change up gameplay in terms of being able to power up whether you're flying around. I mean, this looks like straight out of Banjo-Kazooie, man, it's crazy. Or like, you know, flying around, dropping egg bombs, or with the zebra move, being able to run super fast over water. Then, of course, the powered up Bonanza Kong, whatever they're calling that. It looks super good and varied in terms of gameplay. This is not what I've expected from a Donkey Kong game, and it's so cool to see them go in this style. Of course, I love collectathons, so seeing all the different collectibles here looks great. Potentially overwhelming. You know, if you played Mario Odyssey and went after all the moons, I'm so sorry. I wonder if this is going to be a similar situation here. But it looks really great. In regards to just the gameplay itself, looks like a solid core game. And like I said, it's great to have Donkey Kong back in 3D. for the first time mainline since DK64. Like, that's awesome to see. Nintendo's willing to take a big risk here with Donkey Kong, and I feel like it's going to pay off. The gameplay looks super solid and super fun. But yeah, of course, another reason, gameplay, big reason why people will buy games, but the gameplay here looks like it's going to be really, really fun, really, really good. Number 3 reason you might want to buy this game, kind of related to the presentation a bit, is the characters, because Donkey Kong himself feels like way more of a character now. Yes, of course, he likes collecting bananas, no doubt, but he has motivation. He has Pauline, which is awesome, by the way. I know that was leaked ahead of time before they officially revealed her. Super duper cool. I don't care about the canon. I know some of you might, but it's just cool that she's here. And they're kind of almost like a tag team. I've heard kind of like Wreck-It Ralph vibes. I can see that. But they both have motivation to reach the core of the planet, right? That's their ultimate goal, and collect Bananium gems along the way. But they're way more of a character now. DK almost feels like a protector towards Pauline, where I feel like he's never really had that kind of personality, or it's never been at the forefront. So it's really cool to see that. Pauline herself trying to become a great singer. We know, of course, in Mario Odyssey she does, but to see the origins of that, that's super cool. Not only that, though, but with the villains here, we got the Void Company, we got the different Kongs. They're confirmed to be Kongs, and this is the first time we've had new Kongs, at least in the mainline games. Like I said, I'm not sure about other games, but arguably since DK64. So really seems like they're going out on a limb here, introducing new characters into the Donkey Kong universe. And I have a feeling they're going to be more interesting than the Brutals in Mario Odyssey. I know people talk about those and like how they were just kind of weird one-off characters with almost no personality. These characters seem to have a lot more personality. You got Grumpy Kong, who's like the old cranky guy, kind of almost like war veteran kind of dude. And then I think it was Poppy Kong, who seems to be a little more flamboyant and maybe more like, I don't know, kind of fashion oriented, it seems, from what we know so far. And then of course Void Kong, who's kind of this cranky little dude, but obviously seems to be like the leader in charge of the operation here. Yeah, so I think it's cool to see these new characters get introduced. Mainly for Donkey Kong and Pauline are the ones that I'm super excited for. But I mean, also we have confirmation of previous Donkey Kong characters coming back. You know, we have Cranky, we have Rambi, Diddy and Dixie are in there. They seem to be relegated to some kind of like racing on Rambi mode or something. Maybe just some side challenges, but they are here. I imagine Funky's here somewhere too. Who knows? They haven't shown off Funky, of course, but I feel like Funky's probably got to be in here. Let's hope they bring in Swanky Kong, Fedora Kong, Lanky Kong, Chunky, everybody's favorite. Nah, they're not going to do that, but at least I imagine Funky's hidden in here somewhere. So it's cool because they're bringing on new character. They're giving DK more character than ever, and bringing returning characters, like even ones like Kid Pauline, who you would never think would happen. But it adds a cool character dynamic to Donkey Kong as well, and gives him kind of motivation to keep going besides just collect bananas, life good, you know? So I personally appreciate that. I don't think the story's going to be anything crazy in depth, but it'll be cool to see how their characters progress throughout the course of the game. But another reason why you might be interested in buying this game. Fourth reason you might be interested is the pedigree of the studio working behind it, because we have official confirmation from Nintendo that this is the Mario Odyssey team, at least part of it, working on this game. And what's wild to me is leading up to this game's release, I've heard a few different takes of people being like, oh, this seems like it's a side game that they've worked on and they're working on the next 3D Mario. They very well could be working on the next 3D Mario right now. In fact, I do think they are. This game has probably been done for a while, considering it's been 8 years since Odyssey came out. And it's just crazy to me that people are thinking this is a side project, because we have confirmation of the team working on it, and we've seen the scope of this game. It's clearly not. The studio is super talented. They put so much passion into their games. Look at what they did with Mario Odyssey. They're doing that same thing for Donkey Kong, pushing him forward while also respecting his legacy. And that is just super duper cool to see. This team is super talented. They are putting a lot of effort into this game. I don't understand the whole side game kind of concept from this. This is the next big 3D game from that team. And I think part of it may be because a lot of people were hoping it would be a 3D Mario, and maybe they're a little disappointed, and I get that, because it's been 8 years since Odyssey. However, if you're one of those people, I would give this game a chance. I know it's not Mario. I know it's going to feel different than a Mario game. But this has Mario Odyssey DNA in it. It is that studio. And so I would really give this game a shot. I really would, because you might find that, oh, it's like it has similar core concepts to Mario Odyssey, but obviously with a different playstyle with Donkey Kong, different environments you're exploring. I would give this game a shot if you're one of those people, because it's the same team making it. This is, I don't want to say it's almost guaranteed to be quality, but it's probably going to be a really high quality game, if Mario Odyssey is anything to judge by. But, you know, this team is super talented. It's great to see them working on a 3D game. And honestly, personally, I really like that it's a DK game. Give DK his chance to shine in 3D again rather than Mario. We will get another 3D Mario. That is probably the game that they are working on currently, and we will get that in, I don't know when, at least a few years. But in the meantime, I would give this a shot because it's a really talented studio, and they've done such a good job with Mario Odyssey leading into this game. This seems like it's going to be another slam dunk. So another reason why you might buy this game, but the fifth and final reason why you might be interested is just the legacy of Donkey Kong. This game is so important when it comes to the history and legacy of Donkey Kong. A lot hinges on this game. If this game, I mean, I imagine this game will do well. If this game does super well, Donkey Kong will be back into like the top tier of Nintendo franchises. Not like Zelda Mario level, but it'll be like right below that. And that it's weird because Donkey Kong should have always been that. It was for a while, especially Super Nintendo era, you know, into DK64. DK64 was probably part of the reason why DK kind of fell back into obscurity. Not obscurity is not the right term, but like less prominent than like other series. You know, and then we had a bunch of like spin-off games like Jungle Beat, Donkey Konga, DK Jungle Climber, King of Swing, all these kind of random side games on like the portable devices in GameCube. And then, you know, they tried to bring back the country formula with Returns and Tropical Freeze, and both those games did well and they're both successful, but they felt like modern versions of the old games, whereas this is like Donkey Kong's moment to really shine, because you have the Tokyo EAD. Correct me in the comments if I'm mispronouncing that term. That team, the Mario Odyssey studio, working on this game, the first 3D game, mainline 3D game since DK64 25 years ago. This is DK's moment to shine, and this to me will spell out the future for Donkey Kong in terms of the games. I think it's going to do really well, and I think this will cement Donkey Kong back up near the top of one of Nintendo's top franchises, you know. A big reason for that, I think, will be because the gameplay, from what I can already attest to this, feels so different than Mario, right? Even compared to some of the older games like Mario World versus DK Country. I know they're different, but they're both 2D platformers at the core. These are both 3D platformers at their core, to be fair, but there's a lot more going on, especially with Donkey Kong, to differentiate it from 3D Mario. And so I think going forward, like, this will spell out the future for DK. This is a very important game, so if you are a Donkey Kong fan, I would buy this. If you don't have it pre-ordered already, I would check it out. This is a very important game for the legacy of Donkey Kong, and I really hope it's super successful. Like, I don't think it's going to do as well as Odyssey, but I really hope it does. There's a chance if people give it a chance, especially those 3D Mario fans who were hoping it was 3D Mario and not as interested in Donkey Kong. I still hope they give this a chance, you know, because this really is going to be, this could be the future of DK right here. But with that, just a quick recap here, going over the reasons why you might be interested in this game. Of course, the presentation, art style, music, just kind of like character development seems really cool. The gameplay, of course, like I said, 3D platform at its core, but with all the different maneuvers Donkey Kong can do and like the upgraded abilities and everything, collectibles, looks to be super duper fun, and I'm definitely going to sink a lot of time to this personally. Also, you know, just like the characters themselves, bringing back old characters like Pauline, Cranky, and Diddy and Dixie, but also the new characters like the Void Company actually looks pretty cool. And also giving DK his own character for the first time and arguably ever, or for a while, which is just, it's great to see that character development. Of course, the pedigree of the studio working behind this, the Mario Odyssey team, they're making another banger here. And of course, last reason being just the legacy of this series. Like, this is like, to me in my mind, this is similar to with Metroid, where I'm like, if I want to see this series continue, I mean, Donkey Kong's going to continue. Metroid, that's more debatable. But like, it's still like, if you want to see these series go forward, especially if you want to see Donkey Kong in this form continue forward, this is the time to buy it. This is the time to jump in. This has the potential to be the killer app for the Switch. I think it is going to be my personal game with the Switch, because like, as much as I love Mario Kart World, this to me is going to be the game that's like, yes, this is my Switch 2 game. This is what I'm playing for hours and hours and hours, and really playing my Switch 2 for. So I'm super excited. It comes out on July 17th, the Thursday, so 10 days as of this upload, and I cannot be more excited. This looks fantastic. I love just the personality coming through. The gameplay looks super good. This to me is more hype than Mario Odyssey. Obviously, very subjective, but I'm just so glad to see DK get his chance in 3D again. It's like I feel like this was needed for so long, and it's so great to see this finally paid off. Go check out my reaction to see my initial impressions on that, because I kind of lost it a little bit. Also, definitely, I'll be doing a launch live stream for this game, probably the Thursday night, since I'll have to be working during the day. But I plan to pick this up at Best Buy. I pre-ordered the amiibo as well, so I'm ready to play that on launch day, probably late into the night. We'll see, depending on how addicted I am to it, and I'm just excited to play this for hours and hours to come. So anyways, everybody, that's going to do it for this video. So thank you so much for watching. If you did, let me know in the comments below. Are you excited for this game? Are you picking it up day one? Are you waiting a little bit? If you are waiting a little bit and you're avoiding spoilers, I apologize. I hope you didn't watch this video. But let me know what you think. Is this going to be your killer app for the Switch like it probably will for me? Definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I will catch you all on the next video or live stream. And until then, oh, banana.